Recording in progress.
Ready to get started. We'll go ahead and call the meeting of the Board of County Road Commissioners of the County of Kalamazoo for our April 7th, 3 p.m. meeting to order. The first item on the agenda is the public comment guidelines. Ms. Wright.
This meeting is being provided under Act 267 of the Public Acts of 1976 as amended, or commonly referred to as the Open Meetings Act. During public comment, participants will have the opportunity to address the board at the beginning of the meeting and at the end of the meeting for non-agenda items. Public comments should be provided at the podium in order to ensure proper audio. Public comments, statements, or questions shall be limited to not more than 3 minutes for each person addressing the board. To provide public comment by Zoom, use the raise hand feature in the Zoom application. The host will ask you to unmute. For telephone audio, use *9. Use *6 to toggle back and forth between mute and unmute. As you participate in the meeting, your microphone will be placed on mute. The chat feature shall only be used to address any technical issues for public participation.
Thank you. Our first item of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise if able.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. The goal of the Board of County Road Commissioners of the County of Kalamazoo is using our expertise, energy, and funds to provide the safest and most convenient road system possible and to contribute to the economic development and high quality of life throughout the county. Our goal is to maintain a county road system that is safe and convenient for public travel and to manage the roadside environment with a view towards preservation. First item on the next item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Motion would be in order.
So move Thompson.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Thompson with support to approve the agenda as presented. Is there any question about the agenda from the audience here in the building or online or amongst commissioners? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the agenda as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries. Next is the approval of the minutes of the March 24th, 2026 board meeting and the March 24th through the 26th, 2026 County Road Association Annual Highway Conference. A motion would be in order.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Kennedy with support to approve the March 24th and board meeting minutes and the March 24th through 26th Annual Highway Conference. Is there any corrections, additions, or deletions from the audience here in the building or online or amongst commissioners? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the minutes of both the March 24th board meeting and the March 24th through 26th Highway Conference, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries. Next is the approval of the payroll and vendor accounts. We have a payroll of $217,625.42 and vendor accounts of $3,261,480.31. A motion would be in order.
Motion to approve. Support.
We have a motion by Commissioner Davis with support to approve the payroll and vendor accounts. Is there any questions on the payroll and vendor accounts from the audience here in the building or online? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the payroll and vendor accounts, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries. Next is public comment on non-agenda items. This is an opportunity for the public to speak to the Board of County Road Commissioners on the non-agenda items. Is there anybody in the audience who would like to speak? There will be a second opportunity later in the meeting. Or online. Anybody online who would like to speak? Commissioner Gisler. Get you unmuted here. There you go.
Thank you, Chair. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Yes, I have 3 things I want to mention. Both the first 2 have to do with training that's available, and it's primarily the first one for elected officials and appointees, but I'm sure anybody that's interested could sign up and benefit from it. I happened to attend this class on April 1st, and it was spectacular. I saw Tony there, and we chatted a little bit about that last night at the Waukesha meeting, and I think she felt it was really worthwhile also. This is a Office of Emergency Management sponsored program. It was conducted by the Michigan State Police Office of Emergency Management Administrator. And excuse me, it really covered a lot of stuff that you would think after, you know, a lot of years as a county commissioner, I'd know a lot of that stuff, but I learned something almost every time he popped a new slide up. It was really good stuff, and they're going to offer the same thing at the Expo Center on April 15th, and it's going to run from 3 probably until 5 o'clock. Ours, Tony, was only from 3 to 4:30, and we got the sort of the Cliff's Notes version toward the end. They had more material than they could squeeze into an hour and a half. So April 15 at the Expo Center, 3 to 5 o'clock you should plan on. And everybody in the audience, in all likelihood, is an elected official or an appointed official, and should think about sitting in on that. The other, excuse me, training opportunity is on the 18th of April at the Red Cross building out just west of 131, and that's going to be a dedicated to the National Weather Service out of Grand Rapids, I believe, is going to host the thing, and it's going to be about the pardon me, the Skywarn system. We talked about that preliminarily months ago, and it was real sketchy. But now Kalamazoo County has an opportunity to have some Skywarn trained people available the next time we get bad weather, and we certainly have had more than our share of that recently. And they're looking for people that are willing to step outside and look at the horizon and see what's coming, and supplement their observations to the radar reports that we get online and on television. It pays nothing. It costs you nothing to take the training, and the training will run from 2 to 4 on August 18 at the Red Cross. The last thing I want to mention is my small informal group, Kalamazoo Citizens for Responsible Government, will meet next Monday at Mark's Diner in Portage on Romance Street Road, whatever. And excuse me, our speaker is going to be Jeff Sorensen, Cooper Township Supervisor. We haven't had a supervisor speak in probably 8 or 10 years, and it's long overdue. And a lot of my regular attendees think it's a great idea to find out more about what a supervisor's day is like. So you're more than welcome to come to that. It's at 8:30 next Monday at Mark's Diner on Romance in Portage. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Gisler. Is there other public comment online for non-agenda items? Hearing none, we will move on to new business. The first item of new business is item A, the request approval of bid 2026-05 crack fill, various locations. Managing Director.
All right, so a little background here. So a crack fill operation is in essence a asphalt cement-based polymer modified material that we apply to cracks along our roadway to prevent moisture and water infiltration, which then in turn prevents freezing and hopefully the occasional pothole. It's actually one of the most cost-effective treatments that we have out there. We use it specifically in conjunction with chip seal. So it's applied prior to our chip seal application, and then the chip seal covers the remaining portion of the road and seals it up. This is an annual bid typically for the road commission, simply because when we bid crack fill, we actually bid it 2 different ways. We bid it first of all by the project. So that's what's before the board today is really our 2026 crack fill projects. Most of them are in conjunction with chip seal. Those projects, as we advertise them, our contractors bid on these projects by the project. So they actually go look at the projects and determine how much material they would need and what it would cost to have them do the work. We also, in our typical crack fill bid, bid material by the pound applied. So every pound that they would use, we would pay for. This scenario is typically used more so later on in the construction season, where we may add additional projects that weren't previously bid, or a lot of times it's our primary road projects that we are trying to crack fill in advance of the next year's chip seal. So we crack fill in the fall, chip seal the following year. That by the pound pricing was actually extended from 2025. So our bidder for 2025, Asphalt Restoration, agreed to continue the pricing along with the road commission for 2026. So we did not bid crack fill by the pound. We just bid it by the project this year. We had in our bid schedule, we had divided our projects up into two different segments or areas. And we did that primarily to keep our contractors ahead of our chip seal operation. So our chip seal typically starts right after Memorial Day. And we really need to get started right away to stay ahead of our chip seal crew this season. So the first half of the first division of crack fill has a completion deadline of June 1st. And then the second half of the season has a completion date of July 1st. So with that, it also opened up the opportunity for our contractors to not bid out all the projects, but actually could bid half or all together. We did have three bidders for our crack fill bid. The first bidder, Thompson Asphalt Products, they're out of Coldwater, Michigan. We are not aware of them, or we're not aware of them. We did reach out, had a conversation with them, and we actually sent our staff down to look at their operation, their equipment, review with them, our production rates that we require, their staffing levels, their experience. And today we are not comfortable awarding to Thompson, just based on their historical experience has been small parking lot type work. A typical production year for them would be less than 10,000 pounds of material. Our complete bid requires 250,000 pounds. So they don't have the staffing levels, the trained professionals. They've not done road work and spent time understanding how to traffic regulate these types of situations. We're just not comfortable moving ahead with them at this point. The other two bidders, Asphalt Restoration. Asphalt Restoration only bid on the later timeline. I'm going to call it phase 2, the July 1st completion. Asphalt Restoration is a local company, worked for us for numerous years in the past. They have pretty much a full schedule this year, so they were not confident that they could bid all of our work. So they opted to bid just the second half of it for this year. And they are our recommendation for that phase 2. The third bidder, Scadeller Construction, bid both segments, and they are our low bidder after we decided not to use Thompson Asphalt for phase 1. And they're actually our sole bidder at that point. Scadeller Construction is a large crack fill company here in Michigan. They also service Indiana and Ohio. We've used them in the past numerous years, but it's probably been, I'm going to say, around 8 to 10 years since they've last worked for us. They continue to bid, but they generally aren't the best price in town. But this time they worked for phase 1. I will also say that on the local side, pretty much all of our estimates, the bids were over the estimated amount. So we are kind of backwards on those, or we are backwards in an amount of about $217,000 divided amongst all of our local road projects for the year. So we underestimated our projects for crack fill. Now, these are generally projects that we do other activities, generally chip seals included in them. And we do hope to see, and we will see, some savings on the chip seal side, particularly because our emulsion prices that the board awarded the recent emulsion bid is lower than what we estimated. And then also the type of stone we're using this year requires a lesser application rate of emulsion So there's some savings in both those areas that we hope we're going to offset the majority of that additional cost. But I will say it's something we're looking at. We continually look at every year, but looking at for next year as to how to better estimate crack fill. We do require our contractors, if you look at the bid tab, to give us what they have estimated these different materials at. And if you look, they're all a little bit different. But we require that just to compare them to our estimates. So we can better learn how we can estimate these types of projects. My point to all that is crack fill is very hard to estimate, simply because there's so many cracks in a road, and measuring the width and the depth and the voids underneath the surface that you're not visually aware of could use a lot of material in some situations, and other situations they don't. So crack fill is always a hard one to estimate. All right, and then on the primary side, same situation. We are our bids came in over estimate at approximately $146,000. Our next agenda item is our budget amendment, and in that budget amendment, there is $150,000 to offset that additional cost as a recommendation for a board to do. So with that, we recommend the board award the crack fill various locations bid 2026-05 to Skedaler Construction Incorporated for the projects to be completed by June 1st, 2026 in the amount of $361,800, and to Asphalt Restoration Incorporated for the projects to be completed by July 1st, 2026 in the amount of $329,867.80. Both contractors are our respective low bidders meeting specifications. I'm happy to take any questions.
Let's start with the motion. A motion would be in order.
Motion to adopt.
Is there support? All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Davis with support to approve item A, the request approval of bid 2026-05 crack fill various locations. Is there any questions first amongst the audience here or online or commissioners? Any commissioner questions for the managing director? Commissioner Davis.
Manager Director, I have a couple questions. One is about the process. Is the crack fill, this is a heated slurry wand application? Is that typical?
That is correct, yes.
And the other question is just about the award system. So as a small business guy, I mean, trying to break in sometimes can be really hard. I understand and trust you and the staff and your assessment. I'm curious as to if this is an opportunity to kind of discuss our basic policy and philosophy about opening doors for small business people trying to break into, because we're always trying to have new bidders and make sure that we have aggressive bidding process where we can get more than one or two people trying to, who are in our neighborhood that are doing this. And I just want to, applaud Thompson for trying to do something they haven't done before. And having been in that position myself, trying to get, go against a bigger company for a small slice of the pie. Is there some way we can look at how to break out some of these projects to maybe have a smaller component of this that is available to smaller companies? So I guess I think you get the gist somewhere.
I do, right. And don't disagree, because we need more bidders, right? We always do. In this situation with our timelines and in the quantity, it really obviously didn't make sense to, because we really looked at this to try to award at least half of it to a smaller contractor. And if our team would have come back with some positive information on what we saw with the organization, it was an opportunity, right, to at least try them on a half of this crack fill bid. We could look in the future, not knowing that, there's potentially new bidders like that. We probably wouldn't get as good a pricing, these smaller areas. But this could be a good opportunity too for, even things like our parking lot, right? That's a good way to at least get our feet wet with a new company like this.
Thank you.
Other questions, comment? I'll just piggyback off what Commissioner Davis said, bringing up with Thompson Asphalt. Is I guess what was their thinking on getting into this is, have they tried other bids with other road commissions? Are we the first?
So we would be the first of any significance. They did work for the city of Monroe. And we thought, well, maybe those are road projects, but we contacted the city of Monroe and they were all parking lots.
Okay.
So yeah, they just don't have the road experience.
Well, I totally agree with making sure we have qualified bidders, especially when it comes to on the road and traffic control, making sure our drivers are safe and our crews are safe as well. So, and our contractors safe as well. So thank you. Any further questions or commissioners? Hearing none, all in favor of approving item A, the request approval of bid 2026-05 crack bill, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carried. Very good. We'll take us to item B, request approval of the 2026 budget amendment resolution number 1, managing director.
All right. Well, so this is our first budget amendment for 2026. This generally comes around early spring, once we have closed our 2025 fiscal year. So we have now done that, and we have realized that we have approximately $2.5 million available that we budgeted last year that we have not spent at this point. I will mention though, of that 2.5 million, $1 million of it has already been assigned to expenditures and projects in 2025. They just are ongoing projects that haven't closed yet. So those dollars have already been accounted for. But there is approximately $1.5 million available for this year. And these are really due to really 3 different items, but we had some lower project costs. So we had projects that come in under estimate last year once we got our projects closed. We did have some reduction in our administration and equipment costs. And then we had some increase in our interest and our permit fees. So all those together total approximately 1.5 million. Going into 2026, our proposed budget included a 21% fund balance. We're proposing to keep that consistent moving forward. So there are a few adjustments that we want to add to the budget this year, and I'm just going to go through them here one at a time. The first item to add to our budget as part of this $1.5 million that's available is the purchase of an asphalt distributor, which, if you recall, the board approved that here a couple meetings ago. So that was a rather large purchase of about $360,000. A couple other capital items. These are small ones, but in 2027, in our 5-year plan, we had a hitch-mounted heated blower for fog seal. Approximate cost is $18,000 on that piece of equipment. We're proposing to move that up to purchase it for this year. So that's a machine that we would use after our fog seal application to help dry the surface of the road, particularly at intersections and places where we overlap a lot of traffic to get on those roads sooner. We also were proposing the purchase of one underbody plow or underbody scraper. So those are the snow plows that are mounted underneath our plow trucks. We have one that's in very poor condition. We've evaluated repairing it, and it's just cost effective at this point to buy a new one versus the parts to repair that. So we need to add that to our purchase for this year. We also had some reduction in costs on our capital items that we've purchased to date. Another item is, the board may recall, we are going to make a rear entrance to this boardroom. So this vestibule here on the west side of the room, there's an entryway from the parking lot. So there's a piece there we have to make a connection with the sidewalk. So we added that piece. On the routine maintenance side, really the only adjustment we needed to make, and it was pretty significant, was winter maintenance. So we are well over budget for winter maintenance for the year. Typically, we budget 70% of the year in the first 3 months. And the last little bit of November and December is generally about 30% of our winter maintenance budget. So adding approximately $234,000 back into that bucket will get us back to that 30% that's available for this upcoming fall and winter. We also have a couple thousand tons of salt that we ordered this winter, additional on inventory. So there's a little bit They're about $145,000 to purchase that. We also are anticipating an increase in our fuel costs, simply based on the war that's going on right now in the Middle East. So we're proposing to increase that by 20%. On the equipment side, we also had some major repairs to our chip spreader. So that's the machine that puts the stone down with our chip seal operations. Again, another significant repair. It's a high maintenance piece of equipment. This is the year where we're doing pretty much a total rebuild on the unit. So there's about $100,000 to do that. The next item is the crack fill cost on our primary roads. We anticipate that could cost us approximately an additional $150,000. So we'd like to add that. The next item is we do have a handful of chip seal projects that we need to do some repair on. We did not have anything in the budget for that also. So there's $300,000 in this proposed adjustment to repair those areas. They are a mix of primary and local roads. So as always, we stand behind our work. If there's areas we need to fix, we will go back and fix those up. So we plan on doing that. And then the next area, we had a savings this year on our primary road CIP. We had some bids that came in under estimate. So we had a pretty significant savings of about $450,000 there, which leaves us of that 1.5 million, about $550,000 that would be available. We're proposing to use them on our primary road paving projects. So in our primary road CIP, there's an opportunity to move a few projects up into 2026 that were in 2027. It's upcoming year. And that would total that $1.5 million. So with that, we are recommending award. Get there. Amend the 2026 adopted budget resolution, amendment number 1 as presented. Happy to take any questions.
A motion would be in order. There's support.
Support.
We have a motion by Commissioner Thompson with support to approve the 2026 budget amendment resolution number 1. Is there any discussion on the proposed budget resolution amendment from the audience here in the building or online or amongst commissioners? Commissioners, any questions? Go ahead.
I got one more thing to add, Chair.
Please.
I probably ought to share the projects that we're proposing to move ahead. So
Sure.
There's actually a couple of them. So Sprinkle Road, approximately 975 feet south of Gull Road to 750 feet north of Gull Road. So really it's north and south legs of the intersection of Sprinkle and Gull. Those were actually supposed to be part of an MDOT project here a few years ago.
Yeah.
That project's since been canceled.
Oh,
So, we held back on our project previously to allow the MDOT project to tie into it. So now that it's not going to,
okay.
we need to go back and finish that small little bit. Also, West Michigan Avenue, Venture Park to Drake Road. So that would be an HMA overlay. And then the third item is really not part of this adjustment, but something we're looking at for this year also is in Oshtemo Township, there's a section of 8th Street from KL to West Main. If I go back in history, it used to be a primary road. It's currently a local road. And our current policy says when we return roads from primary back to local, they will be turned back in good condition.
Right.
This road was not in good condition, but the township has some plans of putting sewer down this segment of road.
Okay.
It has for quite some time. So we have held off on paving this road because it just didn't make sense to pave it and have the township tear up and put sewer in. So I know the township's still working on the schedule to do that, but at this point we believe it's still delayed. So we could push that back into 2027 and then replace it with Drake Road project from Grand Prairie to Squires.
Okay. Further questions, Commissioner Kennedy?
So I just want to make sure that I'm hearing correctly or understanding correctly. So are we voting to move forward on this? Or are we voting to table it? Not table, that's my word, but to 2027 because there's some other factors that need to roll into it. Because if we say yes now, then would this move forward without like the sewer and the different addition modifications that need to be made? Did I get that wrong? I'm
Yeah,
trying to understand.
it's actually, I think, just the opposite. So at this point, the township has no plans of putting sewer in this year.
Okay,
So we would move that project to 2027, continue to keep it as a priority with the township, and then move up another project to replace it for this year.
so
So
then,
we're just switching places with two projects.
It's just information.
It's just information for the board. It's all that is.
Information.
So by voting on it, we'll approve that proposal.
okay, but, and not the money? Because I'm seeing that it increases the total to 959,000. Am I don't understand, I just need to clarification, I'm sorry.
Yep, no, that's fine. So the first two projects, Sprinkle Road, and the West Michigan projects,
Right,
are part of the budget amendment,
correct,
and that's the 550,000 that's available, right? And then 8th Street project
okay, I see it now, go ahead.
is just being switched out with Drake Road, right? One's moving up and one's moving back a year.
Right,
That's just information only.
okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments from commissioners? I have a few, just the West Michigan Avenue between Venture Park and Drake Road is badly needed, so I'm glad to see that's moving forward. I guess one thing that we did not get right in this new building was public parking. We limited ourselves with parking. But it's been such a great facility for other people to hold meetings here that we're gonna put the sidewalk back here, and so we can hold more parking in the back when we have those kind of events. So I totally support that project moving forward, and glad we came up with a solution to that problem that we ran into. So very good. Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the 2026 budget amendment resolution number 1, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carried. That'll take us to our second opportunity for public comment and non-agenda items. This is another opportunity for the public to speak. Anybody here, just give your name and address, and you have 3 minutes. Seeing no one in the building, is there anyone online who would like to address the road commission? Being none, we will go into managing director's time. Managing director.
Okay, first of all, I believe that every station, the board has the 2025 annual report, so it's hot off the press. Take a good read on that. I just want to say thank you to our team, particularly our communications team. So both Mark Ward and Sarah Phillips. Awesome job again. Great pictures. This is our team taking pictures. So, but anyways, a lot of good relevant information. A good resource as to what we do throughout the year. We will be presenting our annual report at the county committee of the whole meeting coming up on June 16th. We'll do it similar to last year. I've been in communication with the county administrator. It's the same evening as our regular scheduled board meeting. So when we adjourn, I'll get a hold of him, let him know we're heading that way, and that they can get us moved up on their agenda sometime in the early afternoon. So again, appreciate everybody's work on that. It also will be available here shortly on our website. So both can take a look there also. Impress Awards, we were at the County Road Association annual conference here a couple weeks ago. I just want to share a couple awards the Road Commission of Kalamazoo County received. So this is for our RCKC chat. So this is our team having a video conference, online video conference with the public. We do that on a bi-monthly basis. This also was the People's Choice Award at the conference, so we won't actually awards for that. The next one was for our open house. So we submitted for our open house that we did last summer here, or last fall, I guess it was early fall here at the road commission. Historically, we've done a lot of joint meetings with our townships, but we thought we'd try something new last year, invite all of our townships in, and kind of made a roundabout, if you will, with different types of displays and staff, and didn't have the best of turnout, but the ones that did come, I think much appreciated it. So we are going to try it again this year. I don't have a date yet. I know Mark and Sarah are working on that, but we may open it up to a broader group for this year, and maybe even put in a few more displays. So we'll continue that outreach also. The next one, actually another award, this is not the County Road Association, but this is actually the Asphalt Paving Association. So APAM, and this is for our Sprinkle Road project last year, north of the business loop to the Kalamazoo River. So we'll get those all three in our showcase here after the meeting. All right, I guess there's a couple dates. First of all, we have a joint meeting coming up here in just a few minutes with Oshtemo Township. I see we have quite a few here already from Oshtemo. We put it on the agenda approximately 4 o'clock start time. So Sherry, if you know all your people here, we could start a few minutes early, maybe. We'll see. But we also need a few minutes to reset the room up. We're going to move some tables and chairs around so we can get around a screen and see some presentations. So that's coming up here in a few minutes. So welcome to Oshtemo Township. And then a couple other dates, actually just one other date, April 17th, which is a Friday. We have our road commissioners tour, right? Our quarterly tour. So if you're interested in hopping in the van and going out and looking at projects and service requests, it's a great opportunity to do that. We generally leave here about 9 o'clock in the morning, return around noon. Just let me know ahead of time if you're available. If you have something specific that you want to see, we can actually go look at that also. Our initial thought is to head northwest this time. Okay, so if anything that you want to see, let me know, and we can definitely bring the appropriate staff along also. So that's all I have, unless there's questions for me.
Questions for the managing director, commissioners? Commissioner Kennedy.
So, congratulations to your team. And I'll speak more about that later, but you had mentioned that you're going to go ahead and take those awards and put them in your cabinet. Are you also going to take them out and share them with the county when that time comes so they can see it, or does the county come here?
We actually put them in a presentation, right? So they'll be up on the screen at the county board meeting, and we'll share what they are and what they're all about. Absolutely.
And then the People's Choice Awards, would you be kind enough to share what exactly that means?
So at the conference, the participants at the conference actually voted on which award that they appreciated the most, right? And this was picked out of all the awards. I don't remember how many were submitted, but I think it's probably in the neighborhood of 20. So we were selected out of those for our People's Choice. So we appreciate that also.
Yeah, thank you. Impressive.
Any other questions or comments for the managing director? Commissioner Davis.
Excuse me. On the memo regarding the from a crack fill verifications award bid, the date is April 21st. Is that a misprint
Typo. Probably.
typo on this one?
Let me look.
It must be because it's not April
Yeah.
21st. Should be March.
You've got a time machine on that.
Yep, it is typo.
Oh, it
Yes.
says, wow.
It is typo. Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis, for finding that.
So it should say April 7th, correct?
Yeah, written date prior to that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Whatever date staff
Whatever
created it. So
was created within the last 2 weeks.
thank you.
Yep.
Good comments.
All right, hearing no other questions for the managing director, we will get into commissioner time. Commissioner Kennedy. Yes, you're the lowest ranking seniority person. So first.
Always first. So that's impressive. Thank you. I enjoyed going to the County Road Association. Sometimes I really don't enjoy going to conferences because I go to a lot of meetings and, it's just, oh my God, one more meeting. But I had an opportunity to learn. I appreciate your staff sticking by me because since I am the newest member, it's important to have an understanding of what it is that we're seeing, what are we buying? And at this County Road Association, it actually gave us the opportunity to see the new trucks, what's out there, what's new, what's important. So I just wanted to say thank you to you and your team for just kind of pulling me by the sleeve and says, Tony, here's this truck that we were talking about last week that we wanted to purchase. So, it's important to sit up here and vote, but it's also important to really have a good awareness of what it is that you're voting on and what's important in your communities. So I wanted to share that. I attended the Waukesha meeting last evening, and they had some really wonderful things to say about, what it is that we're trying to do and the fact that we are supporting them regardless of whether they're large or small. And they appreciated the fact that we took information so that they were updated on the different projects that we're doing. And I also appreciate that Commissioner Gisler had said that our community should take a really good look at our website because it's very robust, it's very clear. We can see a lot of different things that the different changes and opportunities that and communication that the road commission is out there trying to do for us as a community. I also wanted to share that the meeting that I attended with the emergency management system on April 1st was full of great information. Good point, people, understanding how that process works. So as elected officials or as community members or board members, if you do get a chance to attend, I would, because our weather is certainly unpredictable as of late. So it is extremely important to know where we are, what happens in an emergency today, who's in charge, where to get that information. So I'm thinking that that's something that we should all attend. Going back to Waukesha, I was handed a notice by the supervisor there that if Waukesha's residents, they now need to obtain a burn permit and they should call before burning. They have a lot of changes there, 269-746-4664, or just give the Township Hall a call. As a veteran, my veteran hat, I wanted to make sure that people were aware that the Women's Conference in Kalamazoo is coming up June 8th through the 10th. There'll be events at the Augusta VFW May 23rd, and there will be a Kalamazoo countywide fishing event for veterans on June 27th. And the other personal thing that I would like to share regarding veterans, if we watch the news and we see what's out there, there's a lot of information and a lot of things that are happening today in the world with our military personnel. Some of these things are very triggering to our veterans that are out there today because some of them have been in those locations that are no longer, etc. I am asking us to make sure that we look out for our neighbors who are veterans. Just kind of, if they need something, just reach out. Just know that they're there. Just let them know that you see them. If you need any help, there's the Veteran Service Office for the county. I'm always available. Any one of us are available that can help because we know where to get the information to. And I personally would appreciate that. There's so much that has happened just in the last week with our local community members who are veterans and who have served. So I'm just asking us to just kind of just keep an eye out, you know, and I know we already care because we're sitting here. But I'm just asking us to just kind of look out for our law enforcement, our fire department, and our veterans in our midst. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Kennedy. Commissioner Davis.
I really have no report this time, other than to let, we know the EHAC, Environmental Health, is meeting tomorrow at 9. I'll be there for that meeting.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Thompson.
I just want to add to our staff the good job they've been doing, because without them doing it, we wouldn't get those in. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Thompson, and I'll echo that. Congratulations to our entire team. The Highway Conference is always a great thing to attend. I always look forward to it every year, and it was a great time again this year. I'm sorry, I should have brought this up during Managing Director's time. I got a question about KL Avenue under 131. What's the timeline for that getting open? I don't know if...
Well, actually, I think your engineering team could probably be more specific than I can.
Thank you. County Engineer Minkus.
Yeah, thank you, County Engineer Ryan Minkus. Yeah, that was the final phase of the US 131 over KL Bridge, was rebuilding the road under 131. And that is slated to finish here in June. So before we get into full swing of summer, KL Avenue should be open back up to traffic.
Very good. Good news. Thank you very much. Look forward to our joint meeting with Oshtemo Township here shortly. What we'll do is we'll have an adjournment. We'll rearrange the room. We'll have about a 10-minute break, and then we'll start that meeting up with Oshtemo Township. The bus tour, commissioners, I would remind you of. Hopefully you can attend. I plan on being there as well. I was going to go to the Office of Emergency Management Training on April 1st. That was for elected officials, so it is not open to the public, but I know they talked about having another one in the future that may be open to the public. But I do plan on attending the one on April 15th. I want to thank Commissioner Gisler for bringing that to our attention. The joint meeting with the county on June 16th, look forward to that as well. Just want to make sure everyone puts that on their calendar as well. And I think that will do it. One other thing, and I can't remember what it was. I want to thank Supervisor Gatlin for joining us today, as well as Mr. Calder from Speaker Hall's office. If there's nothing else, Commissioner Thompson.
One quick thing.
Sure.
Our next meeting, I will not be at. I'll be in the MTA conference. So.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much. Hearing no other business, a motion to adjourn would be in order.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We are adjourned.